Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, how are you? Love the show, long-time viewer, long-time caller. I just have a quick question for you. Now with the hire of the defensive coordinator, now does he get to bring his own defensive staff, like bring his own guys that he wants to have on there, or is he just kind of replacing Joe Woods and stuck with the guys that are already there? Just curious. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Go Browns. Woof, woof, woof.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. Well, that very question was asked of Jim Schwartz at the press conference today. Here is Jim Schwartz's answer to the staff.
It's not my staff. It's Kevin's staff. And he's hired me to be the defense coordinator. So that's all I can really say there. I've had, over the years, I've had jobs, like when I got hired in Philadelphia as defense coordinator, I was the last guy hired. And I had never worked with any of the coaches before. We got up to speed pretty quickly and flipped that defense pretty quickly and won the Super Bowl the next year. Buffalo was similar. I've also had where I've had a lot of input. And so I've done it a lot of different ways. But, when it's all said and done, that's Kevin's job, along with Andrew, along with the Haslams. They're the people that are making staffing decisions, not me.
And Tim, again, Kevin Stefanski's a collaborative guy. It's not like he's going to say, these are your guys. There will be a give and take and a discussion. And I'm sure there will be guys that Jim Schwartz wants to bring in. There might be a guy or two that Kevin Stefanski wants him to keep on staff. And I'm sure from the sounds of it, Jim Schwartz is open to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear based on what I said. I think we discussed this a little earlier that, he's not going to make excuses for, not having his guys on staff or whatever, having the guys he wants, in the staff room with him, making these decisions and coaching his guys on defense. It's probably going to be a mix, I would assume, kind of like you said. Like, he may get some input. Kevin Stefanski might want to keep a guy or two on, like you said. I'm curious how that's going to shake out, because that's kind of the next thing that we're going to kind of see out of this is, what kind of influence does Jim Schwartz have as far as, like, what kind of position coaches he can bring in? Who's he looking to get? Especially, with defensive line coach and all those key positions. I'm curious what it's all going to look like. So, I mean, we're going to get to really know more over the next few weeks. But Jim Schwartz basically makes it clear that, even if they're not his guys, he knows he has to get them to understand the system he kind of wants to run as a defensive coordinator and get them to kind of do the things he wants to do. So he's not a guy who's going to necessarily need his own guys, but he's going to want them all to coach a certain way, which I think is kind of crucial as far as trying to set a tone for what that defense is going to look like.